Hi, my name's Nick Braun. I'm a Watershed Restoration Specialist with the Department of Natural Resources in the Aquatics Division.
My name is Matt Steinwurzel. I am the Watershed Restoration Specialist for DNR. I've been with the agency for a year and 9 months now. I think what DNR does in its management of both uplands and state-owned aquatic habitats provides a really unique opportunity to conduct both research and restoration work on lands that are actually managed by the state. I think DNR has a great reputation as far as both work culture and the body of work itself. I was finishing up grad school when I started looking around for positions, and my background is in fisheries ecology, so taking a much more active role in restoration, which is what the Watershed Resilience Program here at the agency does, is something that really stood out to me when I saw the position advertised. An average day in this position could look anything like being in a beautiful landscape location, collecting essential data that is then synthesized, analyzed, and used to make management and restoration decisions. So we're out here today, for instance, flying drones over one of our tributary sites that's managed by state lands. We're collecting habitat characteristic information, including riparian vegetation, as well as counting in-stream wood. As far as decisions that I make, I would say I'm more involved in the decision-making process for some of the project specific objectives and goals that we have here at the Watershed Resilience Program. So decisions as far as what time of year should we be employing what methodologies for data collection, when should we actually be out in the stream looking for juvenile salmon as well as adult salmon.
The current trends that we're working with, climate change is definitely the big one. That's what motivated me to be here in the first place and study environmental science. In Western Washington, on the near shore, it's ocean acidification, sea level rise. There's also land use change, fighting bigger and bigger fires every year, drought, warming stream temperatures. There's a litany of effects that we're trying to deal with. There's also, every 4 to 8 to however many years, all of natural resources kind of gets ambushed by the federal government sometimes. And we have to be ready for that. I don't think the social support is going anywhere. I think there's huge social support for this movement. And, even if there's some job insecurity at times, there's always an opportunity to kind of make that work for yourself. From a skills perspective, GIS is always good. Staying organized in an office environment, having leadership skills, working on your writing skills is also pretty huge because, science communication is almost always lacking wherever you go. So the more you can do that, the more you'll stand out.
It really pays to have a solid ecological understanding of the systems that you're working within, coupling that with actual analytical skill sets, as well as being familiar with different types of sampling methodologies. If you're engaged in science, it's equally important to both have your scientific background and knowledge base as it is to be really good at building relationships with people.
In terms of education and training for this job, I got a master's degree because I felt like it was a little difficult to find something in natural resources that was a permanent position and not seasonal without one. That's not to say you can't do it, but you do have to go and gather some more experience for yourself to kind of make that track work. Different environmental fields that you might have experience in, they do relate to each other, right? The world is connected. So it would be a little bit crazy if your experience in one field is totally siloed and doesn't help you in another.
In this position, I think, yes, a bachelor's is absolutely essential. I would say having a few years of career experience, making the most of an internship or volunteer opportunity or a stipend opportunity that you're given. And then I would say at some point in time, a higher degree, either a master's or depending on the level of work that you're conducting, a PhD might be necessary.
My advice to anybody pursuing this kind of career, be ready for kind of a winding road. I took 4 years in between undergrad and my master's degree, applying for grad school, working in the field in the summertime, doing forest technician work and leading field crews, and then in the winter, ski bumming, learning how to cook and working in restaurants. And it was honestly super rewarding. And I don't know another time in my life where I could have had so much fun, learned a new skill while still working on my resume and kind of refining what it is that I care about in the field and where I want to go and make a difference.
It can be hard sometimes in restoration and natural resources management to see the benefits of your work realized at a longer time scale, but keep motivated and understand that the daily work that you're engaged in does have an impact. And, you might not be around to see the benefits of those impacts, but that's okay. The work is just as equally important, and really just embody that passion that you have. You're clearly fascinated by the natural world for a reason. Take that passion, hold on to it, and let it guide you throughout your career.